What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all, happy new year. Um, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and it's crazy that I'm gonna say this, and y'all probably gonna think that I'm lying. But I have been literally under a rock for since the since this weekend. Last weekend. Went on a little family trip. Um, spent some time with the family. So I honestly, I'm gonna tell you, and I need to find it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Um, hold on. So happy New Year, first of all. I don't know if I said that. So I've been trying to get up to speed. Um, as I said, I have not watched in an entire football game since what the day after Christmas. I saw a play against somebody. I can't remember, and I was supposed to write it down. I didn't. I wanted to do a breakdown of it, but wasn't able to. But y'all, it helped me out because I've heard something that we might be in on a quarterback. I don't know. I'm just getting up to speed, but I will say this: this is one reason that I came on. So I got back late last night. So today I had a couple track workouts, and as I was working kids out, my mind started running. And as coaches, because the thing that gets me is that sometimes actually playing the sport does matter. It doesn't completely matter. I know some people, I'll just say this, my mom knows more football than the average person. And she's been with my dad since middle school. And my dad played football. Should have played college football. So she's been kind of involved in football since she was a teenager. So she knows the game. She knows coverages. She knows offense. She knows, as I was a quarterback for a long time, she knows progression, sort of. Why did the quarterback? She knows those things. She could probably coach definitely a middle school team. I'm going to say she can coach a high school team. You don't have to play the game to be able to teach the game. And honestly, I think sometimes the best teachers are people who were not either players or great players. So I must say, I don't think you have to be a former player to be a good coach. You don't. Now, here's where I'm going to stray from that is, however, if you were a good player, great player, elite player, you have some insights to the game, to the nuances that the person who didn't play has no idea about. You know how it feels. You know game situation. You know because you've been in it. And if you're able to teach it and you play the game, that's when you become a really, really, really elite coach, in my opinion. Because here's the thing. If you don't play the game, you can know all the theories. You can know biomechanically what happens in a certain situation. You can be a psychiatrist, psychologist, all that stuff, and understand how the brain works. But unless you've been in that situation, that stressful situation, you don't truly understand. And that to me is very important. Sometimes coaches try to do too much. Sometimes coaches try to make everyone the same athlete. So, like for example, right now it's track season, and I'm coaching jumpers, and I can, in theory, as a former jumper, say, well, why don't you do this? Because everybody else does that. What if the person whom you're coaching, that's not how their body works? But as a coach who has never done it and has only learned it from the textbooks or from biomechanically what should happen, sometimes some people's limitation is actually their advantage. Sometimes you have a kid who can't do something that is mechanically something that is should make you an efficient whatever it is. That's for the average person. But for some of these elite people, you can't make them do that because that is why they are elite. So I know sometimes we as former players get on analysts, TV personalities that have never stepped foot into the arena. Now, there's a way to say it, but in actuality, there is some truth to it. Like, my sister played college basketball. I played high school basketball. There's some things that I feel you rely on someone who's been there to help you understand that maybe just because XYZ person did it, or just because you think I've seen teams do it, there are reasons why coaches tend to allow things to happen with their team because maybe they don't have the in a vacuum the athletes that you think they have. See, sometimes we as fans look at things through a vacuum without understanding that sometimes you can't do things that you want to do because you don't have the players or the talent to do what fans want you to do. Sometimes, and I'm just riffing to other areas. Sometimes you might say, why did we get some X player? Well, maybe X player didn't want to come here. Like That is something that is hard for some people to grab hold to, is that it takes two to tango. Just because I want him doesn't mean he wants me. Doesn't mean he wants to come to the program that I'm coaching. Logan said, "Do you think we will get Sean?" I don't know, Logan. Logan, I don't know if you missed the first part. I've been under rock. I just found out that that is an opportunity. I will say this: if we get Sam, that is that is. Ooh, I'm about to say something in a moment, but I'm gonna say it. That might be the most important grab, recruit, pickup, portal, whatever you want. That might be the most important player we have ever grabbed in Kentucky history, as long as I have known it. That trumps Tim Couch, in my opinion, because he is a known entity in college football. On top of that, he's young. What is he, sophomore? Or he's a junior next year? Like, he is young. And to be able to grab him and get him for potentially multiple years. And here's the great thing about it. If you only get him for a year, that's because he had a great year. You know? Like, sometimes you want to carry a guy for multiple years, but if you play so well that you lose him a year early, means your team has progressed and had a great season. I will say this: if you grab a difference maker quarterback, you have a greater chance of being successful if you're unable to create a difference maker offensive line. I said it, I said it again. The quarterback position makes everyone's lives easier. When I say everyone, I'm talking about everyone. From the defense to the O-line, to the receivers, to the head coach, to the offensive coordinator, to the defensive coordinator, to the trainers. Because here's the thing. To the strength and conditioning coach, here's the thing. Here's the reason why. If he's that kind of guy, if Sam is this kind of guy, the quarterback changes the temperature of the entire locker room, especially if he's a hard worker. Because here's the thing. Why I say trainers? Because people will miraculously not be hurt in the skill position room when they got a dude who's a dude. You got receivers and running backs who will play injured because they know they can be successful with that guy throwing in the ball, because that is what gets you to the next level. That same guy, since you're not hurt, that means guess what you're going to do? You're going to be in the strength and conditioning program a little bit longer because you're not hurt, because you're playing a little banged up. That offensive line will say, what if, even if we're not good, let's hold this block a split second longer so that guy can win the game for us. On defense, as defensive coordinator, I can call a game a little differently because I know that guy has the potential of putting points on the board if I'm too aggressive. That guy makes everybody on defense life a little bit less stressful because now I know I don't have to play the perfect game. That one guy changes the entire temperature of a program. Cam Ward going to Miami, Carson Beck going to Miami. It makes a difference. If we can get Sam, it would be a difference maker, the best one in school history, in my opinion. New coach, if he identifies him as the guy who can run the system, you bring him in. As I said weeks ago, I don't know if Cutter the guy. For me, it's outside of my decision making. And I don't think it's right for me to say that, oh, he's got to keep someone. New coach, innovative offensive coordinator. He picks whomever he wants to run his program. Simple as that. And I have to trust him. And he thinks Sam is the perfect guy. Because to me, y'all, it doesn't have to be a brand name. Guess who's leading Ole Miss to the semifinals? Not a brand name. You need someone whom the quarterback coach, the coordinator knows and are comfortable with him running their scheme, their system. It's as simple as that. So, as Logan asked, do I think we will get him? I don't know if we'll get him, but I'll say this. How much is going to cost? How much money it's going to cost? I've heard numbers. I don't know if I should believe them because the numbers are astronomical. I don't know, but I said this when Will Stein got hired. It all starts with whom he can bring in. Well, what do you think the record be? I don't know. Let's see what he brings in. So here's when it starts happening. If he gets Sam, that makes me feel really good about next season. Logan, I've heard not one, not two, not three M's. That's what I've heard. That's crazy amount of money. Who is putting that up? But as I said this, y'all, I've said it many times about Indiana University. I said I don't have 100% knowledge of it. This is a feeling. I said when Kirk Cignetti agreed to go to IU, there was an agreement about the resources he will require to take the job. As I said, I had a mentor that was on the board, and the things he said was Indiana has the money. And at that time, it's more about resources, buildings, all that stuff. They have the money to do it, but they have to have a reason to do it. And he wasn't lying. So, did Will Stein pull the same thing with the Kentucky administration, say, I'm not coming there unless I can get the resources that I need to fill and create a successful program? It's the same thing Mark Stoops did after they didn't do it for Rich Brooks. So it's not that we haven't done it, and that's why I don't like the criticism. Not saying, here's the thing, not saying anyone is perfect, not saying Mitch has done everything right, but the criticism is so one-sided for some people. Here's the thing, and I know this because I know a program that's going through the same thing. There's a program that I know of that has a coach that is kind of successful, but he's getting long in the tooth. And the administration know they can't fire him, but they are not giving him all the resources he needs to continue to win at the rate that he wants to win at. So understand what I'm saying. This guy is a good coach, a little bit long in the tooth. The administration, in my opinion, don't want to implement resources for him so he can reach the next level like he used to, because he's an older gentleman. I've heard in the back channels that if they had a younger guy, they would give the program the research that they need to elevate the program to where it used to be. But they don't want to give it to the guy who's an older guy. So what happened with Rich Brooks? Is he was an older coach. They didn't want to bow down to what he wanted because of his age. When they got Mark Stoops, they started doing things. Joe Kraft Center. Just recently, they did the indoor facility. Like, all that stuff happened with Mark Stoops, but didn't happen with Rich Brooks. And Rich Brooks just wanted the same thing Mark Stoops wanted. So it's the same thing happened with Stoops. Now they got a younger guy whom they can groom, who can be with the program. He's a local guy, be with the program for 10 years, 10, 12, although some people get bark at it when the coach is here too long. But let's just say he can create some roots here. And now is the administration willing to not bend over backwards, to bend a little bit more with Will Stein than they did with Mark Stoops. It happens to us all. And the program I was talking about earlier, it's been a successful program for this institution. It's not one of the big programs. It's not football, basketball. But it is one of these programs' premier sports. Has won multiple national championships. But the guy that's leading the program is a little old. And I've heard that they will not increase certain things, resources for this coach. But if he left and they got a younger guy, infuse some energy and back into the program, that they would do it. Do you think the in-state players gave a hometown discount because money they could make elsewhere? And the JMI deal took that away. All right. Peanut butter. Now, I don't know how true this is. See, I just step back into the light. If they're able to get Sam, and Sam is going to command millions, don't talk about a JMI deal. Like that. That's just something that we can complain about when things don't go our way. If they get Sam, that means JMI ain't got nothing to fucking do with anything. Unless they are only able to get Sam and then the money runs dry. If that's the case, then you might have a point. But if they get Sam and they get apparently CJ Baxter from Texas, if they get Sam and CJ, and let's say they go out and get, I know this ain't gonna happen, but just roll with me. Let's say they get Sam, CJ, and Cam Coleman. You can't say a damn thing about JMI anymore. Because there's no way you're able to get those three guys for cheap and still fill the other holes that are needs to be filled. I don't know how much a receiver can command on the open market, but it's crazy to say it. But it's gotta be an M. Gotta be $1 million for Cam. I would pay $1 million for Cam. I might pay $2 million for Cam. So if I'm gonna pay $1 million or $2 million for Cam, I gotta pay $3 or $4 million for Sam, and I gotta probably pay another $1 million for CJ. That's $4, $6, $8 million tied up in 3 players. I still need an offensive line. I'm losing my defensive players. I'm just talking about Cutter, Smith, Quisenberry, all these. JMI wants a piece of all their NIL. I don't get that. Cutter and Smith twin, Quisenberry all leaving. JMI wants a piece of all their NIL. What piece of NIL? Was that a contract sign? Is that what you're saying? Like a 4-year contract? And I would say this. I don't see how that's possible. If I'm signing a contract, I'm not paying you all your money up front. I don't know how NIL works completely. That's outside of my wheelhouse, but I am a business owner. I do know if I am signing someone to a contract, an employee to a contract, it is not, let's say they want X amount of dollars a year. I'm not paying them in advance. So if Cutter, the Smith twins, and Quisenberry played the entire season, they should get all their NIL from this season. I don't know how JMI wants a piece of their what piece. The season's over with. They have paid their contract. JMI pays them, wants their percentage of anything they make outside their contract. JMI pays them and wants a percentage of anything they make outside their contract. If you say that is a real deal, is JMI broken? Are they brokeraging the outside contracts? Because I thought JMI was the connector to the extra money, so they're kind of the agent. And are you saying this as you know this is true, peanut butter? Or are you saying this as speculation? If they had a deal with a car dealership outside of JMI, they are required to pay them a percentage. That's what you're saying. If that's the case, I can sue the hell out of their ass. Unless they are finding that car dealership deal. If I find a car dealership deal on my own and you want a piece, that doesn't make any sense. Now, if I come to Kentucky and JMI has a connection with Paul Miller and they get me into the room with marketing team or whatever, and then they want to sign me to an NIL deal, then yes, JMI should get a cut because they introduced me to Paul Miller. But if JMI has me with Honda deal, see, but peanut butter is that speculation or that's true? Because all this stuff you hear through back channels, I don't trust anything I hear unless I can see it and it's true or just people just word of mouth. Because some of these players are saying they don't want to come because I've heard what's the guy from Indiana said he wanted to be the dude. He didn't want to come here just be another guy. I've heard we are, especially basketball fans, think that we are entitled to get anyone that we want, and then when we don't get them, it has to be because of some outside influence, not because they don't want to come to Kentucky. I've heard that, but unless someone comes verbatim, and I'm gonna just tell you this, I would not believe the agent. I might not believe the player because players lie, especially to save their ass. Oh, all right, peanut butter. Unless it is documented, it's proof. We can speculate all we want. I'm not. I would say this: I'm gonna say this, and I said it before. It's hard for me to question Mark Pope this year until he gets all of these players playing together for a consistent period of time, semi-healthy. You, in my opinion, you cannot. You can critique all you want, but you cannot honestly critique something that was built a certain way with certain pieces to be healthy to expect greatness because we are just Kentucky. So for me, it is a wait and see, and I do this with all things. Let's let it play out. Oh, I forgot. Let's let it play out. I forgot. Y'all, I can't believe it that I could not go to the ladies' game at LSU because I was not at home. We pulled off. We pulled off, y'all. I don't want to be in the moment because I'm thinking. I would say this: we pulled off one of the biggest history, one of the biggest win in Kentucky women's basketball history to go on the road, y'all. I've seen us play at LSU before. I want y'all to understand. You can go back in the day before Kim Mulkey came. You can go to an LSU game and sit any fucking where you want. It was general admission. When I went, I sat behind the Kentucky basketball, um, their bench every time on the first level, easy peasy. Every time I went, easy peasy. After Kim Mulkey came, there was assigned seating, and the first level was pretty much fucking sold out. So I want y'all to understand, going to Pete Maravich Center nowadays for women's basketball game is a tough environment. And for them to pull off that win in the first conference game on the road against what many people would have said is one of the 2 to 3 teams that legitimately have a chance of winning the conference. They were saying it was going to be Texas, LSU, South Carolina. And I think I said on a couple of shows, don't be surprised if we in the SEC championship game in the SEC tournament because this team is that fucking good. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought losing Georgia was going to be a problem. But Tony Morgan she has found her footing. She's become a little bit more aggressive offensively. And she is a dog. And to go into that place nowadays and to win there, I'm telling you, there is no reason with the current structure of South Carolina because of the injuries they have had. Losing Chloe Hurts to the injuries they have had preseason, that we can't beat South Carolina. We have SEC hype for the first time since I've been associated with the program in '93. We have SEC hype. This team this year, I'm telling you, and I said it before, I was saying about Jordan and Perova, but she got hurt again. I said last year if they played, we make it to probably Elite Eight, Final Four. Now we only get Obi back, but the top talent we have with Strack, Key, and Obi in the front line, it's so important. And now to have Asia Boone, kind of like we had an Asia Thigpen and volleyball. Like Asia, the name Asia has been a difference makers for us. So now we got a shooter, a knockdown shooter. We got a damn good point guard. And we got those three in the front in the front court, man. It is good. It is enjoyable watching this team play basketball. The best hire in look, I'm not gonna say the best. I'm gonna say this. Mitch has done an unbelievable job hiring the last what? Didn't Kenny Brooks come out the Pope? Hiring Kenny Brooks, hiring Will Stein. You cannot complain. You cannot complain. When he hired Craig Skinner, Craig Skinner is the best coach on campus. Kenny Brooks, he just hasn't been here long enough. That dude can flat out get it done in all phases, recruiting and coaching. If Will Stein can grab these players out of the portal that we have been involved in, now he ventures off into the Kenny Brooks spectrum. Tell you again, Mark Pope is similar to me to Tubby. He wants to play a certain way, which requires certain kind of players, which are not gonna make some of BBN happy, because he doesn't need the headaches that comes with getting 5-star players, so to speak. So is he gonna get a guy who I'm just spitballing and generalizing? He doesn't want a guy who has to get the ball and pound it 20 times to create his own shot. He doesn't. He wants certain type of players to play his scheme. And that is counter to probably the Cal deal, where you dribble drive and use your athleticism all the time. And that is a hard thing, I think, for all fans to get used to. I'm not saying Pope is the perfect guy from Kentucky, but I also don't think he's the wrong guy just because of this year not progressing like some fans wanted when we was hurt. After that damn Purdue fucking preseason game, we were saying 9. And not me, not we, because I wasn't saying that, but a lot of people be the road to 9. But when we got some guys hurt and we couldn't play like we wanted to play, now it's like, oh my God, fire Coach Pope. Let me read a couple of these messages, y'all. So why would Arizona let Levitt go and pay Cutter? Dillingham runs a summer. You know why, Peanut Butter? Because Sam doesn't want to be there. See, now, when the rabbit has the gun, in Arizona State, if Sam is commanding, I'm just throwing out a number. I don't know what it is, y'all. I'm going to throw out even numbers so it's just easy to compute. If Sam wants $10 million, and did you not see Dillingham go on those local news? Is at a press conference asking for someone in the Tempe area to donate $20 million to the program. So obviously they having NIL problems too. So if Sam leaves, Sam left not to theoretically come to Kentucky. Sam left because he knew he can command more money on the market. I guarantee you, in my opinion, Cutter is not going to make as much as Sam is going to make. So therefore, Arizona State is able to get, if Cutter goes to Arizona State, a person that they can afford. That's why Levitt is leaving Arizona State, because they can't afford him. Huge win for the latest highest ranked conference opponent we have. Really? Aaron, didn't we beat South Carolina in the tournament? Were they not ranked 1, 2, or 3? I don't know. Maybe that's a tournament. Maybe that's different from a true conference game. That might I can. We came close to beating South Carolina in the regular season once. That might I hear you, Aaron. That might be true. So maybe had a better point guard, better center. Peanut butter. I'm gonna tell you something though. When you have Flage and Michaela, them are two ballers. Even though we might have a better point guard and better center, them are dogs. Better coach is a stretch, peanut butter, and I love me some Kenny Brooks. Mulkey is a dog. Tony Morgan is like the female version of Lamont Butler when he's healthy. I genuinely have love for Pope, but I'm starting to think he's really book smart but lacks common sense. See, that's as I said, fans think they know everything, but unless you're at practice, look, y'all, I'm gonna just tell you. I've been at practice in college. I've seen the entire playbook of the defense. Now I can't talk about offense. I've seen the entire playbook of the defense. I've seen us try to implement new things from the playbook. We couldn't run it my first 2 years. It was new, and we just couldn't run it. So sometimes, since you can't do certain things, it makes the coach look. So Mark Pope does not lack common sense. Y'all can say, why is he playing this person so much? Why doesn't he play somebody more minutes? Why is someone not getting minutes? There's a reason. You just not privy to the. You just not privy to the answer. Because I'm not going to throw my kid under the bus. There were games I didn't start my senior year because I didn't practice full go on Wednesday. That's the only reason. So some people ask me, Van, why didn't you start? It's because the simple thing is, it wasn't that I had a bad week, wasn't that I had a bad game, wasn't because I was demoted, wasn't because I was such and such or whatever. It's because we had certain rules when I played that you had to practice on Wednesday full go to start on Saturdays. If you don't practice on Wednesday, full pass, full availability, you're not going to start on Saturday. No questions asked. You can play, you're not going to start. Same thing happens. Lack common sense. You don't know what happened during the week. You don't know if that player practiced hard. You don't know if he did this. You just don't know. You don't know if he might have an ailment. Like, it's just a whole bunch of things that evolve that we as fans don't know. Okay, it was a neutral side. Okay. All right. True roll game last night. That was the. I saw a stat that said Mulkey has never beat a top 8 AP team. That's gotta be a lie, Cobby. Mulkey has never beat a top. That's crazy. So is that top 8 at the end of the year? Are you telling me when she won a national championship at Baylor and at LSU, she has never beat it? That is a wild stat. That's a wild stat. You know what that stat reminds me of? Is when we won our games. Excuse me, the 10 and the 2-10-1 season. Some people can say, I don't know if it's true that, well, all the teams we beat were not such and such. Yeah, because we beat them. Like, see, this is the thing about, I'm going to say conference. Before next year, you only had 8 games. If you lose to Kentucky, and let's say you still have to play Bama, Georgia, and LSU. Let's just say that. Let's just say you have to play us, Bama, Georgia, LSU. You're probably going to lose those. So now you're starting off at 4 losses. Now you got to win the rest of the 4 to finish 500, right? You lose to us, you're at least playing 2 of the top teams in all conference. Let's say you lose. Let's say you got to play Bama and Georgia back in the day. You're losing 3 if you lose to us. Now you got to go fucking perfect to finish above 500. You got to finish perfect to finish 5-3. So don't have no injuries. Don't play on the tough road game at night in Columbia, South Carolina, or Death Valley, LSU, or like, don't do that. Because now you're gonna be at 4. Like, when you lose games against the middle to lower end in theory of the conference, in this conference, the team that you beat are gonna probably end up 400, 500 or lower because you beat them, because we beat them. Like, that's just people. Yeah, well, they didn't beat anybody with a winning record. Yeah, winning losses were you, and don't let you play a tough skit. Like, seem like fans are coming up with solutions to games before Pope implements those same ideas. Exactly. Do you think he actually tries with? I hope not, peanut butter. Now, some of y'all are smart basketball people. It's not like basketball is like football where there's so many fucking variables. Yeah, basketball is easier for anyone to predict what someone can do or what they should do. Especially with lineups, you only have 13 players. You really only have 11 players. If you're really being honest, I would say you only really have 8 players that are difference makers. So if one guy isn't playing well, any, mini, mighty, mo. And one of those any, mini, mighties and mo's is playing in the same position. Not all 4, but one of them is probably playing your position. So if X player is not playing well, Y player on the bench and he plays the position, well, put in Y. Or if you're playing a pressure team, well, you got 2 guards, well, you might sub out your 4, your 3 to put another ball. Like, it's not that. You don't have to be smart to know you should play the players that are playing well. See, peanut butter, I'm going to tell you something about that. See, that's where people get. So let me help you out with that. This is just generally speaking. I know as a coach that you saying that you should play players that are playing well. There are some players that can only play for a certain stretch of the game to their optimal. So let's say player X is starting, player Y is the backup, but player Y plays well. Well, player Y probably can only play 3 to 4 to 5 minutes at his best. After that, he just goes to the shitter. You sub him out. You might sub him out when he just hit 5 shots in a row. But you know during practice that, man, right at 5 minutes, he tanks. See, you going to analytics, Rob, because Pope says talk about analytics. I don't know if he's doing it or not. But the whole speculation is speculation. Michael Power said, just hopping on. Looked like Justin Rowan was saying we was offering 4.1 million. Michael, that's what I heard. If we are offering 4 to Powers, where do we get that money from? So, like I said, Michael, if we get Sam and we get some more high-profile players, don't tell me a damn thing about JMI ever again. See, Peanut Butter said he started coaching Field in the second half of Indiana. We started winning. How do you know he started coaching Field? See, that's the kind of stuff that narrative gets thrown around because you wanted to fit your narrative. Tell me what coaching Field means. If he's an analytic coach, and you only call an analytic coach, a coach is only who they are. That's why I always say that any coach, don't forget how to coach. The players are not executing the way the teams in the past did. Man, they Levitt and Baxter backfield. Mike, if they can get Sam and CJ, don't say shit about JMI again. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about JMI ever again in my life. If they get those two players, one is a freshman. How old? Because he stopped subbing players that were in rhythm. Okay, peanut butter. That's as you may. I think Jalen playing that game made a difference. What am I looking for, Sam? What year is Sam? Sam is a redshirt fucking sophomore. That is crazy. So you get Sam for potentially 2 more years. If he plays well next year, that'll be his 3rd year, so he can go to the league. So he can leave after next year. But if his stock isn't what he wants it to be, you have a chance to have one of the better quarterbacks in the portal. I know some people saying the Cincinnati quarterback is top dog in the portal. I'm not so sure about that. Now, I haven't seen him play enough, but the times I've seen him playing, I'm not so sure. So, wow, correction. Mulkey is 0-8 versus top 12 ranked SEC teams. Okay. 0-8. So whom has she lost to? Tennessee? What? South Carolina? Let's see. I want to know who Mulkey has lost to in conference. Because that is crazy. They have been pretty good. Didn't they win the SEC one year? So who the fuck is she losing to? Tennessee and who else? I mean, South Carolina, who else? No, they don't give a conference record. They just give an overall record. So at LSU, this is copy. That is crazy. If that's the case, she lost. Here's her record. 4 years she's been at LSU. She lost 6, 2, 6, and 6. So you telling me that's 8, so that's 20 losses. Half of the losses are to that's pretty damn good, Cobby. I'm gonna try to see who the hell she losing to. Do they give hold on. Do they give records? Top 12. So in her first year, Tennessee was top 12. Tennessee and South Carolina. I guess I can go to record. Why don't I just go LSU and go their record? That's what I'll do. That'll be the smartest thing to do, y'all. Their schedule. Why won't they give me their schedule? The football, they give you the schedule. That's not what I want. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to figure this out because Cobby Cobb got me. They don't give me the record. I mean the schedule. Oh, here it is. Cobby said 2 times to Texas, 5 against USC. Okay. South Carolina beat a 5-time. Texas. Huh. So Texas swept them last year? So Copy, that's crazy, Copy. That's why context matter. Of the 8 losses, 5 is to USC, to South Carolina, which is the best team in the conference year in, year out. 2 times to Texas and once to us. Were we ranked 12? Yeah, we ranked 11, wasn't we? That's not shabby. She hasn't lost to Tennessee. She hasn't lost to Ole Miss. Coach, I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm just telling you now. I don't like. I guess I won't say that. I like coaches, and Coach Yo at Ole Miss is one of my favorite coaches. That's just like Willie Fritz and Jeff Traylor are 2 of my favorite coaches in in college football, and I'm starting to really like um Key. Who did Georgia Tech play? Who was that? Now that's not good. That I don't remember. Who did Georgia Tech play in the bowl game? I guess I should put Georgia Tech schedule. So I shouldn't say this, coach, because um I don't remember. Oh, Sataki. Sataki and Key are 2 of my younger coaches that I are favorites, but Trailer and and um and Fritz are don't say a damn thing about bad about those 2. It is Coach Yo at Ole Miss, women's basketball coach at Ole Miss, is on that level. What she has done in Oxford, Mississippi, at that program is beyond amazing. And the way she coached, her fingerprint is on that team. If you don't know, do some research. The way she played is the way she coached. They are a dog team. They are aggressively playing tough basketball on the verge of fouling. I think she is one of the best coaches that no one knows about. Coach Yo has done unbelievable at Ole Miss, and Mulkey has not lost to Ole Miss. Mulkey is shit, shit, man. Mulkey is definitely, who said it? Kabi. She's definitely top 10. I might put her higher. I know Gino. I know Pat. And, man, what Kara, the Stanford coach, isn't her name? The Stanford coach. Texas A&M has a good coach. Yeah, Vanderveer, isn't that name for Stanford? Dude, she might be top 5. Copy. Give me some more. Gino is obvious. Pat is obvious. Um, uh, I mean, I, I that one leaving out Don Staley. Gino, Pat, Don Staley, Vanderveer. Those are the 4. Let me AI. Will Kentucky do good in Jackson? As of right now, Jackson, we are eating it up. Potentially, we'll see. I've always said since the NIL is about the money. All these people want to say, I don't care what Will Stein, his offense, and all that does. If we ain't got the money, we're in trouble. Brandon, I'll rewatch tomorrow, but saw Dante's leaving. Does anyone know the status of Wilcox? Eesh. Y'all, if you don't watch The Locker, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My man Anthony White, one of the best running backs in UK history. He's so underrated. Anthony White was kicked off the team with Coach Curry, and when Hal Mumme came, he was able to come back on the team. Maybe that is what's happening in with Will Stein. New team, new coach. Everybody starts with a clean slate. Maybe he can come back. Yeah, that's Carol Veer. So AI says Gino Vanderveer, Pat Summit, Don Staley, and Kim Mulkey. That's what they have. Kim Mulkey as 5. So that's what Muffin McGraw was good too. Vivian Stringer was a good. I don't think she'll be top 5 though. I think that's it. I think she's top 5. Brandon, no, he's never got booted. He was never kicked off the team. Y'all, I'm gonna say this, and since it's my show, I can say stuff controversial. Something else. Don't know if you heard. Arizona State writer said we've been recruiting Sam for a while. Wait, Michael. What you mean for a while? Does that mean Coach Stoops was recruiting him? Michael Power says on the TikToks. Michael Power said something else. Don't know if you heard. Arizona State writer said we have been recruiting Sam for a while. Is that a while Coach Stoops was recruiting them during the season? Or this is when Will Stein got the head coaching job, we started recruiting them? Or the last, okay. So since Will Stein became, okay. Cobby Cobb. I'm going to tell you this, Cobby. If Kenny Brooks wins a national championship if he wins a national championship in less than 4 years, he goes on that list. What he did at Vatech and then to do it at Kentucky, and he can do it that quickly from where we were when he took over the program and from how he elevated the program very quickly. Yeah, because here's the deal. The recruiting class this year is what, top 5? We got some dogs coming in. And if they develop like they should, it's going to be interesting. Overall, Calipari is a better coach than Dusty May. Doesn't mean he is currently. Same with Mulkey and Brooks, in my opinion. Mulkey is still, dude, if you don't think Mulkey is still coaching well, I don't know what to tell you, peanut butter. Mulkey had, them girls scored 100 points in a consecutive 100-point games, and that was a record for a season to start. I want y'all to understand, I said this before the season. This Kentucky team is fucking good. They are better. And this is the thing. When the season ended last year, and we got Hassett, Strack, and Keyback, the whole front court was coming back. They all 6 feet or taller. And they get Obi. So that's 4. I knew this team was going to be good if we could replace Georgia with someone that was not better than her, but close to her. And Tony Morgan is unbelievable for this team. And what's the Louisville coach name? Fuck him too. Because a little dig he gave to Tony after we beat Louisville this year about that's the first time she has beat Louisville in her career. Fuck him. She was at Georgia Tech. Maybe that's why. Because it'll be something if she had the the aura and attitude of Van Lith, where she was kind of edgy and maybe was demonstrative on the court and maybe did some things to piss off him. But this girl doesn't. That's not her. So why would he say some bullshit like that? Fuck him. Tony Morgan is a dog. And as long as we stay healthy, as I said on the Alan Cutler show, this team will be in the SEC finals and the SEC tournament because they are that good. And the thing about it, why I like it, is because they have enough depth on the bench that they can make a tournament run if there's some issue with health. Because I don't think y'all know Dante. I was about to say Dante Key. Key missed 2 or 3 games before the LSU game. So the Tiki Talks get me, y'all. Tiki Talks. So having Lexi Blue helps. Having Asia helps. Like our bench is strong enough to withstand some issues, some attrition during the season potentially. Having KK, like we have SEC height. We've always had SEC talent, but we have SEC height for the first time. And I know at one time, I don't know what, after this game, we were not leading the nation in blocks. This team has a chance to be special as long as Tony Morgan continues to be special. That was my only concern. Can she be special? And she is beyond special. I didn't see the game, y'all, so I can't talk about it. But I did read the stat. She had a double-double. 12 assists, 20-plus points. Game-winning three-pointer. What the hell? Now, I'm going to be honest. She has some Steph Curry moments where she has some bad turnovers, but you live with bad turnovers when you have an orchestrator who can play the game like she plays. She's unselfish. She doesn't jack up shots. She let the game come to her. She's great in PNR, and she is finally becoming comfortable shooting the open three when she had it. Shoot the damn ball, because you can shoot it. This team has all the pieces. I mean, Hassett, when she's on, she's a three-point sniper. Asia's a three-point sniper. Strack three-pointer hasn't been on so much as of yet in the season, but she can shoot it. Then you bring in Lexi Blue. You got KK. And if Tony Morgan can keep defenses honest, here's the deal. If we keep running PNR and her defender goes under the screen, she's got to knock it down. She has to. Because she can. It'd be different if she couldn't. She can. She's got to be confident to shoot it when she has to shoot it. Or when that defender goes under, you got to make her punish. You got to punish her for going under. Even if you don't make it, you gotta make her think twice to get over that screen. If she goes over the screen, then we can really make things happen. But she's really good at PNR. So, dude, the women's basketball team lost 1 game at a neutral site, and they didn't play well. When they have played well, they have not lost. Simple as that. It's been an hour, y'all. It's 2026. I hope 2026 is better for me than 2025. 2025, yep, 2025 was a bad year for me, for my business. First time in 25 years that I didn't have a great year. My business didn't. I hope 2026 brings prosperity to everyone watching And to be selfish, I hope it improves for me too. Because damn it, I need it. I hope it helps our our sport team. I hope the football team can elevate to be better. Hopefully we can get some of these dudes. And we'll see. What up, Joe? We'll see. Hope 2026 is a better year for everybody. I say it again. It was a bitch for me. So, I jumped on a little early, y'all, because I missed some days. I was away. I hope all this news about players visiting Kentucky, football players visiting Kentucky, continues to happen and we get some dudes, because I'm telling y'all, if we get dudes, that's how you win. We haven't had dudes. It's that simple, y'all. We just have not had dudes. I hope we don't have to get Levitt, y'all. I'm just getting Sam would be a great start, but I'm telling you, Chambliss for Ole Miss came from D2. You just need the right guy to run your scheme. Now, the difference with Sam is you know what you're getting with Sam, because he's proven it on the big stages. Yes, Joe, Arizona State quarterback. If we get Sam, y'all, the snowball starts to roll, hopefully, and it gets as big as it possibly can get. But I'm just saying, we don't have to get him. We just need someone that Will Stein is comfortable with. That's a dude. It does. I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be the big name, but it doesn't hurt. Apparently, the center from Baylor could commit by tomorrow evening. That helps, Michael. Look, we need as many. And here's the thing. Apparently, the UTSA, we got a couple of UTSA people that might be able to grab some of the UTSA players. Like I said, when Cignetti left JMU, he brought JMU players with him. Will Stein leaving Oregon, we're not getting Oregon players. So we're not having 10, 12 Oregon players come to Kentucky. But if you can get some of those UTSA players, that would be nice. If we run the same similar system that Will Stein ran there before he went to Oregon, that helps y'all. So hopefully that happens. Just say it again. You cannot win without the players. You just can't. And I hope Will is able to, and I hope the administration gives him the resources he needs, the pocketbook that he needs to fill a competitive SEC team. So hopefully that can happen. Hopefully that can happen soon. The Sugar Bowl was a movie to witness in person. Really, GG? So you in New Orleans? Yeah, I didn't watch. I didn't see. I saw this. How much I was driving back. I saw the field goal, and I saw the stupid end of the game. I didn't see anything else. I didn't see any of that game. I was driving. Crazy. I didn't see any of the Bama, and I said on Tom Leach, what, Tuesday morning, that Bama just doesn't have enough for IU. They just didn't. GG, the Sugar Bowl is always awesome, man. If you can go, always. But I'm long, y'all. Pause. I'm going over an hour, at an hour and 15 almost. I'll catch up with y'all. Today is Friday. I might do something tomorrow. I don't know. Don't count on it. But Happy New Year. Hope everything goes well with everybody this year. And I will see you. Hopefully tomorrow, but definitely on Monday. If I don't talk to you, tomorrow. Y'all have a good weekend, and I will see